Some of the stuff I'm going to show you today was actually built by one of our other co-founders, John, who's obviously helped set this event up as well. And he was so excited to get some of these updates out that he even went back into the coding world and created a couple new things. So I'm really excited to show them to you. The team has been working really hard. I'm not even going to be able to get through all the updates, but I think the updates that I show you, you're going to be pretty excited about. So who's pumped to see some of the new features? What I'm going to be showing you today is we actually have 12 days of Christmas releases coming out. So these features I'm going to show you are going to be appearing in your account at different days as you're heading towards Christmas. So be excited, and let's dive into the very, very first one. So we're going to no particular order, but we're going to move through a few here. We have a whole bunch of new filters for you. So this is just a demo account. But when you have been filtering or searching for leads in the past, you've been limited to some options and you've been asking for more. And we have given you more. So here's some of the ones that are new that you wouldn't have had before. You can now search within a certain period of time. So maybe you want to see all the leads within like the last 10 days or the last 20 days, which is really powerful. Some of you just want to see all of the leads that are in a particular automation, right? Because when you're running ads in StreetText and you've got all these different ads running and they're ending up in different automations, I just want to see all those leads that are in that particular automation. Deal stage is always already there, but for many of you, we've wanted to know, hey, who, when I've been running automations, has unsubscribed or is still subscribed, and I want to just be able to sort by those lists. You can now do that. You can quickly use the unsubscribe or subscribe status. Both of them work together when you click it. The other one is estimated time frame. A lot of you, I don't really have them in here, but a lot of you are going to have, oh, actually I do, like different time frames when people are thinking about selling, maybe 6 months out or 9 months out or immediately. You're now going to have that filter in there as well. You're also going to be able to search by interaction score. So I'm not going to go into great detail what the score is today, but if you notice here, there's these different scores that are coming up. And of course, this is a demo account. So as I'm interacting more, naturally, it's increasing that score. But you can actually search also now and sort people by your interaction score. And lastly, if you've been running our remarketing ads, one of the things that's you're probably blown away by is how many of your contacts are re-engaging with this different content. And they are going into what we call a returned status. And so as a return status, you can now see that. So you can see all the leads that are re-engaging. So that is feature number one. So hopefully you guys are all excited about that. So just jump into Chase's account for a second. I'm going to grab I became a test lead here. So I'm going to show you some of the ones that John quickly created for you. And this is so powerful. This first one here is a big deal. You're going to notice a few different things in here. The first one is this. When I just went into the contact, so I went into my contact and I clicked on it, there's this here, and you've seen this before. Facebook is making some big changes to how they run the AI behind the audiences that they find leads for, right? So when we're running those different ads and all the things that Logan was showing you, behind the scenes, Logan is essentially getting all these little insights. Hey, this budget is worth less to me. This budget is worth more to me. I'm trying to find, try this audience with this ad or this audience with that ad. He does a lot of that. And Facebook is continually tweaking the way that the AI is out there searching. And so what John has added for you is this wonderful new tool that is immensely powerful. And this is called an offsite conversion event. And so when a lead converts, so when you do a deal in StreetText or one of your StreetText leads converts, you're going to want to go into the contact, just like I did here. And you're going to want to make sure that you click this little green hand up here. When you do this, we are actually on your behalf firing a specific event that's linked to your ad account and linked to your Facebook pixel. And we are telling Facebook that we want more people just like this person. And I cannot overstate how important this is going forward and how much of an impact it is going to make on your overall ads and ROI going forward. If this is a great task also from your VAs or your assistants or anybody else that you have on the team, if you have not yet been tracking your deals in StreetText, I totally understand why. You're busy, you got lots going on. You are going to want to do that. So you're going to want to go back to your contacts. You can, of course, sort. You got all those new filters there too, but you can just type in look at all the deals that closed in the last, say, 12 months or ideally as long as possible. Search for the leads, have somebody quickly go in and just mark those closed or converted. And it is going to make a big impact to what we send back to Facebook And so hopefully you're all excited for that new cool feature. It is a pretty big deal on how your ads run. And it's also, this is one of the reasons, like, I think why StreetText is so valuable. This is really hard to keep in sync with Facebook and really hard to do on your own, but we've made it as easy as possible. So just come in here and select that button. So who's excited about that? Do I see any show of hands? Do you guys want lower price leads and leads that convert more? Yes. So this is definitely a tool that you're going to want to use and track. Okay, so the next one, if you take a look up here, this is some really cool new buttons. So when a lead comes in, if you come into this section, again, this is also a great task for a VA or somebody on your team, especially when you're training people to do different things with your leads. We are trying to make finding this person as easy as possible. So if I click, for instance, on the Google search, you'll see here, it's just going to search for me as quickly as possible. So you can just validate if this, what else can you find about this lead as quickly as possible? Their name and their email address. And if you've done this in the past, you'd be surprised. There's actually quite a bit in here. And so it's that one click, making it that little bit easier. And so you can search quickly. The other thing you can do is you can click now, search on Facebook. So very similar. It's going to essentially start the search for you on Facebook. And so you're going to be able to look at all those different people it finds. Of course, Facebook's being the slowest. There it is. And there's me. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on me. Now, of course, you can filter down here on the left. So it's going to do its best to start the search. Maybe you want to add in the city or some other details that can help you find that person. But check this out. So when I find me, I can scroll down. Yeah, this is definitely me. This is the person I'm looking for. I'm going to copy this URL. See this here? So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back to StreetText. And many of you have asked for this over the years. You can now click this new little button. Again, Christmas releases, so it won't show up in your account yet. Stay tuned. You click this button. You can now add in that URL right here. And what it's essentially doing, two things. One, when I add the social profile link, it's just saving it forever. So from now on, if I ever come back to this lead and I just want to link through, I just click this little button here, and it's going to take me automatically back to who that lead was on Facebook. It's a small little thing, but again, if you add this into your workflow, either your workflow or your system's workflow, it's just going to be, you're going to be able to find these people quicker and easier again in the future. But John added one more thing. There's this message button here now too. So if I click this, what it's going to do is it's automatically going to start a Facebook message with that lead. It's going to automatically link to them. So who likes those features? I mean, hands up, or yeah, you pumped on that. That's awesome. Cool. This next one is very cool.
That's huge, Steve. I think anybody who loves using Facebook, I'm talking about like Linnea, Wendy, anyone who just loves the connection piece on Facebook and loves to start a conversation through Messenger, that's powerful.
So an actual conversation, which is pretty cool. Now, keep in mind, if you're not Facebook friends, it's going to go into that message request folder, but that just gives you another reason to add them as a friend, as Marcus always says too. So you can do both of those things. So this is a new, I'm just skipping ahead to it, but this is maybe I'll slow it down for a second. And John's going to talk a lot about this in the minutes to come after I'm done. When it comes to remarketing and when it comes to your content, a lot of the content that is some of the best content you could ever use, you've already created. And when I click on this, you'll see what I mean. When I click select, just give it a second to load. It's going to be searching. Linnea does a wonderful job already of creating content. And for some of you, I know this is a little bit more challenging, but there are people in the community that can help you with this, and they can help you create great content. But the challenge a little bit with some of this content is you create it and it goes on social media, and you know what it's like on social media. It goes to die, right? After a month or two, nobody's going to ever see that content again. But you can actually reuse that content and keep it alive, your best content. You can keep it alive and you can use it in your remarketing as a great example, and in your ad bundles, which I'm not going to dive into today. Hopefully some of you know what that is, but it's a really powerful way of taking an audience that you have on Facebook and Instagram. It could be your database. It could be people that are clicking on ads and staying in front of them 24/7 with different pieces of content. But look what Linnea can do. This is all content that she has created on Facebook organically. These are not ads. These are just social posts. And she could sort. She could say, hey, I want to see which content's got the most likes. Or maybe I want to sort by the most comments, as an example. And the reason you would do this is that you're going to want to use content that's got some great engagement. If it already has great engagement, why not use it again? You could also sort by maybe video. I just want to find all my video content and put that, and you leverage that for my ads as an example. And so this is a really powerful way of taking your organic content, and then you click on it. And so it's going to look like this, because this is what the post looks like on Facebook, initially on Facebook. And when I click next, I'm going to get a couple choices. I can take this organic content now and actually turn it into a Facebook ad. I could put $1 a day behind it and throw it into an ad bundle. So it's now rotating. So I'm not even spending $1 a day on it. I'm only spending $1 a day when the ad shows up in the ad bundle. And I can actually keep even all my engagement. If I click this button right here, if Linnea had 100 likes or 2,000 comments on this video, as an example, she's going to keep all of that content in that ad. So when it goes live, it's actually going to show up there, and she's going to be able to, the ad's already going to have it, which is super powerful. She can obviously put in a destination website. It's optional. She can choose, in this case, like a learn more button. Some of them, I believe this one gives you a few more options, but it does get rid of your engagement. So it depends. But again, it doesn't really matter if you are using it for the long term. It's just really nice if you can keep your engagement as well. So I'll put in, I'm not going to launch this, but if I was putting in StreetText.com, I'm going to go ahead and click next. And now I choose my audience. So I want this really great piece of content, and I want it to go out in front of, and again, you can change these at any time in the StreetText system, but maybe I want to stay in front of my 31 to 60 day. Linnea is very advanced with her retargeting. You can do as much as you want. You can add obviously as many audiences as you want and build them out. You can even run exclusion audiences, so people that you don't want to see this ad, as an example. And then I would just click next, and I would pick my budget. You can do this for as little as $1 a day. You can choose if you wanted to go on Facebook and Instagram, and you click deploy. And you have essentially taken, you didn't have to build this ad. You already know it works. You already have engagement on it. You already have people liking it, sharing it, and you already created it. Why not reuse it and make sure and put it into one of your ad bundles? Because just like everybody's been saying on these calls, with Facebook and Instagram ads, when you're running the ads, you're getting an opportunity to talk to people early. You want to surround those people with you and the reason they should work with you and all your best content. And maybe it's the restaurants that you think are awesome, or the schools that you think are awesome, or right, all of this different content that has engagement. And you can turn all of these into remarketing ads and stay in front of them. And I guarantee that you are significantly increasing your odds that they are going to work with you going forward. If that wasn't big enough, I got some other big ones coming. Hopefully you're all liking these. The team works so hard on this stuff. I know Troy and Adam and Shane, everybody that's working on the dev side are working so hard on these features. So any love you put in, it goes a long ways to the team.
I know any of our omnipresent influencers out there are going to eat this alive. Think about it, right, Linnea? How much time you're going to be saving doing this?
I am so excited, you guys, that yes, thank you for doing that, because I'm going to be honest with you, the remarketing, I love it, but it's a lot of extra work to have to upload a video every single time. So you've literally just taken away any excuses. So if any of you are out there right now talking about you cannot do remarketing, they're literally taking your excuses away. So like this is probably the best. I'm like so excited right now. You guys know how excited I am about this. This is a really good update.
Good. That makes me happy to hear. All right. Okay. So we got another one for you. So I'm back into Chase's account here for a minute. When you're launching ads, and we obviously do all the hard work of basically aggregating the statistics, right? So when you look at this ad, you can see that the cost per email on this one is $3.96. And a lot of people have run it. You can see the active below. Lots and lots of people have tested out this ad. And that's really valuable because it means that the copy works. When I mean copy, all the text, and it means that the ad itself performs. And that's great, but it also has its limitations, because the advantages is that we take something that's winning and that's good, and we take the guesswork out of it. You launch it, it's going to get great results. But for some of you, you've often said to us, oh, but I want to change this, or I'd love to make this a little bit different, or can I change a word or whatnot? Today, I'm going to let you know that you can click this customize button. They're going to show up on a variety of different ads. And it's all of our ad formats. So I'm actually going to show you two completely different ad formats too, like conversion ads and lead ads and whatnot. But if I click on customize on this right now, first thing you're going to notice is that all of this is editable. So if I want it, and we've actually taken care of the statistics part too. So we're not even going to mess up our stats. We're going to have a different way of tracking the stats. But if you wanted to just completely change this, like I didn't want it to say that title before, I want to do something different, or I really like it as an inspirational point, but I want to make it my own. you can now come in here and make any changes that you like. And you can even click next, and you can see even all the form steps. Like these are all the steps in the forms. Like when people are becoming a lead, they're clicking on all of these. You can change every and all of these steps, which is in itself incredibly powerful. But there's more. But hopefully you're loving that so far. So you can make some tweaks and changes. And I know some of you like to really get your hands in there and make a variety of different.
You're getting a lot of comments.
Okay.
Love this update. So good. My heart is about to explode.
There's more, because if you click on this little button up top here, our trusty AI is going to jump in here for a second. So maybe I want to write this ad in French or Spanish, or maybe I want to use a different writing style. And we are using some of the best copywriting styles, and we're building it in here. So I want my ad to be engaging, or maybe I want it to create desire, or I just want it to be super, super concise with a copy. You now click this remix ad copy, and our ad is essentially headed off to the AI side, and AI is looking at it based on all of the different prompts that we include with it, like the copywriting skills, and then it's going to come back. It can take a little bit sometimes. It's doing a lot of thinking, and I'll show you why, because it's doing some thinking even on the next page. So let's just give it a second here. If it takes too long. Oh, there we go. All right. And what do we got? Brand new ad. So, want to live the same life in a smaller home? We offer a selection of beautiful, ready to move in homes with less space, maintenance free, and without stairs, sent straight to your inbox. Downsizing home experience upgrade. So if you can, of course, it's just designed to give you a template. You can make some changes. You can edit it however you like, but you can now have your own version of the downsize ad that nobody else has. It's yours. And you can remix this as many times as you like. And here's what's also really cool. Maybe I want to go back to the original. You can just toggle between all the changes and see exactly what you had. So nothing's lost. You can be like, I really like this one, but you know what? I want to keep this going, this one here. And when I click next, it actually took all of that knowledge and built it into here. So it made an entirely different lead form experience based on what the new ad is saying. So once again, you can toggle between, and you can click this little button if you like, and you can change just that one field. If you just want to play with this one for a while and remix this one a few times, you just click this button and off it goes. It's going to remix that one individual field. So hopefully you guys and girls are very excited for this update as well. It gives you a lot more flexibility when you're deploying the ads. It gives you a lot more creative control, because we think of you as marketers. All of you are marketers. That's why you're here. You want to build your brand. You want to grow your business. You love your database. You want to have the biggest database possible. You love thinking about marketing. You got ideas, and we want to make sure that you have that flexibility. And we'd love to see your ideas come to life. So put it in the chat below if you love that and you think it's awesome. I'm very excited about this one, and there's more to come. So Chase was mentioning he spends quite a bit of money on ads. And one of the tools that Logan was showing you at the top, you can track. So this is a monthly ad tracker. And stay tuned, because some of you are like, I'm spending lots of money. How do I know how it's making me money? I'll show that to you in just a second. But for now, this becomes a really powerful tool. Yeah.
I just launched 2 different 3-ad splits for the condo list. They're launching right now.
Oh, you are a man of action, Chase. That's why I love you. You see something and you take action. And I think that is so cool. So yeah, it's obviously doing some resyncing really quick here. But this is really cool. So you can see this, and for the month of December, cost per lead was sitting about $6. If I go back to, I can actually toggle. I can go back all the way to, man, your ads are definitely doing some things here. So first off, you can keep track of your lead costs as they're building back in. You can see, as Logan showed you, you can set a monthly budget. You can see how much you're spending on a daily basis. You can see how much you have left to spend. You can see what your projected ad spend is. But check this out too. You can compare. So Chase has generated 148 leads at $6 a lead, and he spent this much so far. If I go back now, I can look at November. So he was actually paying a little bit more in November, which makes sense. You've got Cyber Monday and all of that craziness. If I click back again here, you can see in October, oh, that was really good. All the way down to $4 a lead. You can see his spend and his leads. So this is a really helpful tool that you can all also thank Logan for, because he wanted to make sure that he was obviously improving when he's running the ads. He wanted to make sure that he could communicate to everybody all of the things that he was doing and how he was staying track of the budget. And so all of this was really created by Logan, and it's now going to be available to you as well. And so you can get a really good story and history of everything that's going on with your ad spend. So again, hopefully you really love that feature. Put it in the comments below. But to build on that, and it will go there if I click this button too. So if I click on this monthly budget button here. Oh, actually, hopefully I have it in your account. Let me just see. Yeah, okay. All right. So this is going to be a really neat tool that all of you can participate on if you want. Again, we're going to have the replay on it, but if you wanted to bring up your StreetText accounts a little bit, you could play with this too, because this one is actually going to be released to you today. And so for some of you, you're going to be focused on two different things. Some of you are going to be very revenue focused. You know, what I mean by that is I just want to hit a certain goal with my ads, and I want to understand how that all plays out. And some of you are like, you know what, I just have a budget. I want to stay within that budget, and I want to know how my ads should be performing, and also how much money that could make me if I do on my lead conversion and whatnot. So if you come here, you're going to have these three fields. So right now I'm optimizing for revenue. So let's say from ad spend, Chase wants to have an additional $500,000 this year from ad spend come in as gross commission. He knows, and he lives in obviously in an area that has a higher customer value. But if I lowered that, so say I lowered that down, you can see how it's affecting all the numbers. But he has a pretty high one, but I'll just keep that at 10,000 for now. And Chase, let's just say Chase is not so good at converting leads. So the industry, no, I'm sorry, Chase, throwing you under the bus here, but so the industry average is going to be around that 1.5%. So if it's 1.5%, and he wants to do $500,000 from advertising, so not in his whole business, but from his advertising spend, he is going to need to generate just over 3,000 leads a year. That means that he's going to need at least 278 a month, or about 10 a day. And some of you have never known this. Like, you've never known how many leads should I actually generate per day or stay on course for if I'm trying to move towards my goal. And of course, if I lower this, but let me just talk about this for a minute and I'll go back to that. This is also really powerful. Our system is automatically looking at the last 3 months of your lead cost, and we're averaging that out, and we're giving you what your actual lead price is right here. So you'll know that if you don't have the data, we're just going to use a default until we have enough data on your account. But if you have the data, it's going to show up right here automatically. So it's going to factor that in for you. But isn't this mind-blowing? Even at $10,000, which is even higher in your area, Chase, which we'll go to in a second, every single one of these leads is actually worth to Chase. Top of funnel lead, early in the game, it's actually worth $150. So every phone call he makes, he should be thinking that way. Every time he's doing a reach out, he should be thinking that way. Because I take this $500,000 and divide it by the 3,000. It's not that every lead is going to convert. It's that at a 1.5% conversion rate, every single time he makes an outreach, that outreach is worth $150 for him. Because when he converts that client, so he's going to convert, in this case, 50 for the 10,000, it's going to equal his $500,000 in commission. Now, of course, if I was to increase this to, say, 20,000, he's only going to need 25 customers, right? But the value of that actually increases because he needs less. So every single outreach that he does, he's only paying under $6 for that. And some of you are only looking at your lead cost as a cost. Oh, I'm paying $6 a lead, or I'm paying $10 a lead, or whatever it is per lead. And you don't realize, we didn't make it clear, how much of that is actually worth to you, each one of those leads. And so this is your profit on each one of those leads. So be excited about this. And I'm going to show you the budget one in a minute. And now, but this is also really powerful. The conversion rate, the lead to customer rate. We're using 1.5% conversion, which means that essentially we're at 98.5. All of your customers are never going to go anywhere. They're just going to be duds, which means the majority of the leads that you're going to generate are going to go nowhere. We're working on a very low conversion rate. And yet, even with that, he's going to do tremendously well. And if I was to lower that even further, let's just take it down to 1. So literally 99 of every 100 leads go nowhere. Those leads are worth $200 to him. He could go all the way down to, let's go down to 0.5%. Like almost nothing is going to come through these leads. And so because we're optimizing for revenue, I should actually have made one maybe change. Because I'm optimizing for revenue, the amount that he's having to spend is increasing. Can you see that? It's like, oh, we actually need 14 leads per day. We need 5,000 leads. But even then, you can see the values of the lead is essentially falling because the conversion rate's falling, but the margin is still there. Every one of those outreaches is still $100, and he's still going to do incredibly well. Okay, So now let's optimize for budget. So in here, I'm going to change this to just $200 for right now. So if my monthly budget is $200 and that's all I have to spend, I can see how much I'm going to spend it over the year, and I know how much I'm going to spend roughly per day. If again, the lead conversion, let's say it's 1.5%, I'll just start there and we'll work our way down. And my average customer value is 22,000, which again, you're going to put yours in your own market. Chase could actually expect on even a $200 budget that if he and his team are working the leads, they're keeping in mind that every lead is essentially worth $300 to them in this scenario. They only need to convert 7, and they will make 144,000 in gross commission as a team with this lead spend. So it's incredibly powerful. If my lead conversion goes down in this particular case, I'm going to make less because I'm not changing my budget. I'm only going to spend $200. That's all I have dedicated to spend. And I'm going to make a little less from my advertising, but those leads are still worth an enormous amount of money to me. And I can see how much I'm going to generate annually, monthly, and daily. So we have some other really exciting updates where we're going to take all of this to your dashboard, and we're going to take all of those deals that you're marking. Remember the very first feature I showed you? The very first feature I showed you is you should be tracking every one of the deals that you close on StreetText, and you're going to want to track it. If you're going to want to check everything in there. You want to tell Facebook which people are closing and converting. So when you do all that and you put all this in, we're going to put all of this on the dashboard for you. These are the features that are still coming. And we're going to give you probably, I don't know if anything is out there that is going to show you how much money you're actually making from ads, which ads are working, so that you can truly get an actual ROI the whole way through with your marketing. Because as marketers, it's great to be, playing with Canva, and it's great to be playing with ads, but really you want this to make you some money, and you want to see how it's making you money. And you want to make sure that you're actually tracking it the whole way through. And we're going to do our absolute best to make that as transparent, as easy for you to see as possible, so that you actually get excited about it, that you're truly excited about the marketing and the ads that you're running. All right, so this is going to be in your account today. Be excited. You're going to go on, you can put in all of your own numbers. I hope you're super excited. We have some really cool other updates that are actually coming in the 12 days of Christmas. So you'll have to stay tuned to John's emails to see those. I won't have time to cover them today. But yeah. So I'm going to close my screen, and hopefully you're
pumped. So pumped. And for some of you, the last men and women standing, we're going to finish the session with 2024 Remarketing Revolution with Instagram and Facebook. Jonathan Whiting,